And now we have the quote-unquote main event or featured bout, whatever you want to call it. Ozzy Diaz taking on Joseph Pyfer. I'm going with the underdog, Ozzy Diaz, my only underdog pick of the card. I really thought Alessandro Costa was going to be an underdog, but he wasn't. So give me Ozzy Diaz, who's really big for 185. You know, he's 6'4", taking on Joseph Pyfer, who is 6'1". But talking about Ozzy Diaz, you know, he's going to be 31 years old going into the fight. He's 6'4". And as I just said twice, he's 7-1 as well. But yeah, what I like about Ozzy Diaz is the power that he's got in his punches, man. I think that he's a much better technical striker than Joseph Pyfer in this one here. Joseph Pyfer, you know, he's only 25 years old going into the fight, and he's 6'1" with a 75-inch reach with an 8-2 record. But I think the reason why he's been given the favourite status is because he's just a little bit more well-rounded than Ozzy Diaz, in my opinion, you know? Like, Joseph Pyfer, if he needs to, he will look to wrestle, he will look for takedowns, but on the feet, I think the better technical striker is Ozzy Diaz. Both guys have wins by KO. What am I talking about? Striker versus striker matchup. Of course they do. Ozzy Diaz, 5 wins by KO, 2 wins by submission. Joseph Pyfer, 5 wins by KO, 2 by submission, 1 by decision. And both of these guys also have amateur careers. Looking at Ozzy Diaz, who went 7-2 as an amateur. He also fought Dominic Reyes in 2014. You know, like that's pretty. That's not a bad loss to have on your record. You know, and then since then, you know, he's been fighting pretty often, especially picking up a couple of fights over the course of 2022. And now he's going to be fighting Joseph Pyfer. He really let it go when he fought Bruno Assis and got a first round KO. And I believe that's what got him on the map to fight against Joseph Pyfer on Dana White's Contender Series. I believe it's actually that win over Bruno Assis that got him here, you know. And I think that's really what opened the eyes of the matchmakers in the UFC. But now let's talk about Joseph Pyfer. Amateur record of 4-1, and then since then he did go on a pretty good win streak. Lost to Genovan Party, who I believe has been fed to quite a few guys now that are in the UFC, such as Jamie Pickett and Joseph Holmes as well. So not really the worst loss to have in your record, but not the best either, in my opinion. But he bounced back pretty quickly. Beat Chase Gamble, lost to Dustin Stoltzfus by that slam in the first round, and come back, and now he's fighting Ozzy Diaz. I think Ozzy Diaz wins, man. But the thing is with Ozzy is he might be a little bit too old for the UFC to build as a prospect, you know, because a lot of these guys that they sign, they build them up as a young prospect. They give them older guys, this and that. But if you sign Ozzy Diaz as a guy that's 32 years old, you've got to give him some decent opponent straight away, because you don't have that time to build him up from the bottom all the way up. So I like Ozzy Diaz. I feel like in this matchup he's the better technical striker. Both guys have power, but Joseph Pyfer is going to be throwing a lot of hooks, a lot of kind of winging punches. Ozzy Diaz is going to be throwing the more technical strikes, and I think eventually Ozzy Diaz finds the chin of Pyfer, and I think he's going to get the job done inside the distance. So give me Ozzy Diaz by KO. I'm pretty high on him. I'm still not sold on Pyfer, but the guy's not even 26 years old yet. He's got so much time to develop, potentially a little bit coming back a little bit too early after only one win after losing to Stoltzfus. But it is what it is. I've got Ozzy Diaz. I do believe he is going to find the win by KO in this matchup here. But even if it does go to the ground, he does have a couple of submission wins on his record. But the better grappler, or the better wrestler at least, in my opinion, definitely is Pyfer. But yeah, give me Diaz. Give me Diaz to win by KO. And that's it. That's it for the whole Contender Series 2022. Thank you guys very much for watching. I've actually got to go somewhere. I've got to leave in a couple of minutes, so I'm sorry that I rushed that last video, but man, I'm so excited for this card. I'm so excited for all of Dana White's Contender Series this year. Really looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll catch you later.